everyone to the Her Life BLOGCAST. This episode is very special because it is the first BLOGCAST installment of the Sporty Girl Chronicles, which has been happening on the blog for months now.
And we're also repping Fordham sportswear, I would say, right? Always go Rams.
Said, go Rams all day long. Actually, I'm going to just go ahead and dive into a quick rundown of what the episode is going to be, because at the end of this episode, we have an interview with two very high-ranking women at the NLL, which is the National Lacrosse League, Sporty Girl, and Jessica Berman, who's the deputy commissioner of the league, went to Fordham Law School.
Oh my gosh, really?
And was like, oh yeah, and then I went to Fordham Law. And I was like, wait, Fordham Law? And she was just like, yeah. I was like, go Rams.
Go Rams. Just go Rams. Oh my gosh.
So, feeling alive. There's so many ties. We are all connected. I love New York. It's just great. None of us are in New York, but it doesn't matter. The point is, Sporty Girl episode. Like I mentioned, the Sporty Girl Chronicles essentially started when I took my first sports communication class. And boy, I have never looked back. It really has shaped the journey of my professional career. I genuinely mean that, because I've had a lot of opportunities through that professor, John Cirillo, shout out. And I just feel like this podcast wouldn't exist the way it is today without Sporty Girl. So I'm happy to be here, Emma.
I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Okay, let's just jump into some her reflections. We're going to do it a little bit differently because we are jam-packed this episode. So to save time, I'll do the H and the E, and Emma will do the R. So H, happy. I'm just jumping right in. I'm so happy because on my Instagram feed, there is so much creative energy from people that I love and am inspired by. I'll give you some examples, but I just feel like my soul shines when I see other people putting out stuff, content that they're proud of and that's thoughtful and thought-provoking. And it's so cool to see, especially now. I think a lot of people have been inspired by recent events, and it's just so cool to see the work that people are putting out. I'm going to lump in our podcast there. Like, I feel good when we're putting stuff out. That feels great. Devin and Kevin have their Devin and Kevin Stop Making Sense Talking Heads podcast. My episode just dropped, so I'm so excited. I sent it to all the cool people I know to be like, I know music. That's cool. We talked about Ice Young before and her IG Live series, Fridays with Ice. I just watched the most, mind-blowing, thought-provoking, smart Instagram live show by Charlotte Hackinson. Do you remember her? She was an RA. Lots of these people are RA.
Her name sounds very familiar. I think I know
she
what
was
you're talking
Finley
about.
with Jack Sear.
Okay.
I think that's the connection. But anyway, she's doing an IG Live series called See the Thing Is, where people come on and kind of offer up their hot takes, and then it's kind of like a debate kind of show. So smart. I watched her episode on Black is King today, and it just blew my mind. It was so smart. Definitely give her a follow. It was a great series and just cool. That takes so much work to put out a weekly show. Are we kidding? Hello? No, just kidding. But seriously, there's a lot that goes into it. So so much respect. It's so cool to see. And also, last one, Haley Messenger has a podcast, Girls Gone Mute. Girls Gone Mute. She has a theme song and everything. I'm obsessed. So it's so cool to see people that you know and are inspired by making stuff. And then we get to listen to it, and it's like, we know them. It feels so good. What a community. Anyway, that's my happy. Go Rams, I know. Okay, also I'm going to move right into my excited. I'm excited because we have a new kind of branch of the BLOGCAST starting. We put out the first episode of this. It's essentially just us reading our blog posts, but that's kind of where the idea for the BLOGCAST started in the first place, which I explain in the episode that came out. But we'll just put those out. I'm thinking we'll do them on Thursdays as throwbacks to old blog posts and read them. And it'll just be a good way to kind of recycle content, because we have a lot of new listeners and readers now. So I want to get all of that good stuff that we wrote 6 months ago back up in the feed. So I'm excited about that. We've had a great response so far, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Woo! I can move into realization.
Yes, tell me.
So I was scrolling on Instagram talking about content, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this post, and the quote reads, "Make peace with the fact that not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever," which, that hurt real bad at first. And yes, it's a very sad thought, but if you think about it, it's quite liberating when you think about the people who have hurt you and you're kind of still holding on to, and to kind of switch your mindset to this. I don't know, it's almost like, take a deep breath. You're free from that now. So of course, we grow, the people around you change, etc. But You know, according to you, Rach, how is this person serving you? I love that. And I will always, I think, always have that in my mindset now.
No, I think that's such a smart way to like view the world because it's true. And also, Katie and Jessica, who again will be at the bottom of this episode, did some realizations themselves too. And both of their realizations had to do with the fact that we only have so much energy and space in our lives. You know what I mean? And that you have to be intentional about who's allowed to take up some of that. And that's a productive way to do it. You know what I mean? I think it feels selfish at first glance, but it's so worth it in the end. I think it's good. And I think you and I, Emma, keep each other in check in that regard. You know what I mean? Whenever we're like, oh my God, it's like, hey, how are they serving you? Because that's what like, it is a friendship if you're not like helped by it. I'm really. Anyway,
1,000%.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay, that was a good rapid fire round. I like it. Okay, let's move on to swoon of the week, but not just any swoon of the week. It's Sporty swoon of the week.
There's too many. I'm sorry. This one was hard. Difficult.
I know. You have two,
very difficult.
Which I like. So hit me with your first one.
Sure. I can clump them together and basically the Celtics. I've been a Celtics fan forever. They're like the real OG like NBA team of mine, but I've kind of put them on the back burner because they went through a whole up and down. Long story. Anyways, I would like to start off with Gordon Hayward. Really, I enjoy him because of his hair. Honestly, he glowed up from college, and I've been following him since college, specifically the 2010 NCAA basketball championships versus Duke, where he almost won the game for the underdogs of Butler University. Anyways, he's been like known for that. I will send you the clip because you literally will be on the edge of your seat. Anyways, mostly because of his hair. He has a beautiful family. He also like broke his ankle really bad, which I should not be laughing because it was almost career ending. Seriously, I was like, oh no, Gordon Hayward. But you know what? He's back and ready. And then also just another hot male on the Celtics team is Jason Tatum. And all I have to say is he is hot.
I pulled up a new thing we're doing on our outlines is like putting photos of the swoons because why haven't we been doing that the whole time? But like both are hot. I would be Jason, but like it's fine.
No, but I was watching him the other day and he just was not scoring a basket. But you know what? He kept trying, and that's all that matters.
That's all we need. We just need perseverance is key.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to take us over to baseball. My swoon of the week, my sporty swoon, is Tyler Wade of the New York Yankees. And I just have to say, Tyler and I go way back. We really do. Let me explain.
Oh!
Yeah. So Tyler used to play for the Rail Riders, which is Scranton's minor league Yankees affiliate. Is it called an affiliate? It sounded so right. A Yankees, like a minor league affiliate of the Yankees. It's not like Major League is minor league. It doesn't matter. The point is, I live in Scranton. So me and my dad every summer would like go to a Rail Riders game just to like bond. And I would always, every year, look up the roster, find out who was like the most handsome on the team so that I can kind of set my sights. You never know. I catch a foul ball, we fall in love. Like you have to be prepared. You know what I mean? You can't go in blind. So I had picked Tyler Wade. This was probably like 2 or 3 summers ago. I was like, imagine this. He makes it to the major leagues. He becomes a New York Yankee. I'm in the Bronx for school. We have this like Scranton to the Bronx love story kind of thing with roots in both places. And I just feel like we could have a beautiful life together. So that's my pick. He still doesn't know who I am, but I follow him still. And I just keep liking. Sometimes I comment. I'm going to send him this. You better believe. So we'll see what happens. But also,
you never know, right?
Yeah, he is a utility player for the Yankees, which I looked up what that means. And it means you could play several positions. So he could do one of those. I wrote in here, is one of those positions the home plate of my heart?
Oh my gosh.
I just think he's so handsome. I'll say one more thing. He's got such a good set of eyebrows, and that is something important to me because I feel like if my husband has bad eyebrows, my kids have no shot because I have like no eyebrows at all. They're very thin. So what I need is for a husband with like a eyebrow so that my kids can have like Brooke Shields eyebrows. You know what I mean? Otherwise they have no shot in hell. So Tyler really does it all for me. I'm really happy with this pick. I'm glad I got to talk about him and I can't wait for him to hear this. Hey, Tyler. Okay. Before we move into our like actual current events updates in the sports world, Emma, if you had to marry a professional athlete, what sport would you want him to play and why?
I'm going to go with tennis.
Ooh, interesting pick. Tell me why.
Yeah, I feel as though they're very respectful people, and that they also value just family time in general. They're also quick with their feet. I don't know. That's pretty cool. They're pretty lanky as well.
You do like a lank. If I know anything about Emma, it's that she likes a lanky fella.
I do like a lanky fellow,
You like
but I don't know. I'm always drawn to tennis people, tennis men,
players.
tennis players. That's the correct. But I don't know. They always just seem so nice.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm like referring to Rafa Nadal and that kind of stuff. But you know what? That's okay. And I would have to choose tennis people.
I think it's a great choice. I think those tennis players would be a great love interest for you. We have to start hanging out at the tennis courts.
And they're all like foreign too.
I was just gonna say
what I'm saying. Like, other than like Serena and Venus, they're like the major people. But like guys in America, huh? Who?
Not many.
Exactly.
If there's one out there listening, you know who to call, and it's Emma. So I'm excited for you. That's a great pick. I think I have to go NBA because I am who I am. And also, here's my thing. Like, you know, my future of my life is I'm planning to reach, like, high levels of fame. And so I think being courtside is, like, an event.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get photographed sitting courtside. They talk about what you're wearing. They talk about the vibe. They talk about the way you're cheering. I want all of that documented because I am a performer. You understand? They're not going to talk about me if I'm, like, in the stands or, like, in a box at an NFL game while my husband's getting, like, concussed over and over again. I don't want that. You know?
You have to find a good NBA person.
I know. I got a couple ideas.
Oh. Okay.
I love a basketball player.
I know you do. I know you do.
I don't know. That's my pick. I just think the NBA is like home for celebrities, and I want to be one of them. Anyway, that's my pick. Okay, so let's get into it, and we're going to talk about sports. There's been a lot of notable sports updates as of late, the biggest one being the return of sports. We're back at it. How do you feel?
I'm like a little iffy about it. I don't know. Like, as much as I like watching basketball, that's like really the only thing I like to watch. It's just like they're very close together, aren't they?
No, yeah,
they're sweating on each other, etc. Like, I don't know. It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I feel that.
Maybe rushing too much.
I know. People are thrilled though. Like, people are so ready, and like, I don't know. Maybe it's doing good things for like mental health that we have to weigh.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people are really coming together over it. But also that could be bad because, like, don't get together with your homeboys and watch it if you're going to.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Things to think about. Anyway, we'll start with baseball. My dad's been watching a lot of baseball, so by association, I've kind of sort of been watching. I haven't really been watching baseball at all, but when I made the outline, which was already weeks ago, so like this is old news, it was Yankees versus Nationals was like the first big thing, which I had to talk about because Tyler Wade is my Yankee love, so I just wanted to talk about it because of him. I don't even know if he played, but like he was there, you know. So, but anyway, and also Dr. Fauci with the first pitch. Emma, what do we think?
I feel bad for the guy. He's been made fun of so much for it. And like, I stand for Dr. Fauci, so I'm just like,
no, me too, but also, like, wouldn't you practice? Like, I feel like maybe it's just nerves that come over you, but, like, wouldn't you practice so hard if you knew you were throwing out the first pitch of baseball after a pandemic? Like, everybody, the entire world is watching you, and you're gonna, like, throw it the wrong way?
Yeah.
I don't do any better, but I'm just saying, wouldn't you practice? Dr. Fauci. I saw a tweet that was like, honestly, this makes me trust his science more. Like, this is science guy.
Oh man.
I agree with that. I think
he got
Anyway, he's doing great work. We stand Dr. Fauci, we love. But also, Fox Sports has been putting in the virtual fans for the games, which looks exactly like Wii Sports. Does it not? It looks the same. It's like, whoa, it's the same sound effects. I swear they took the same like algorithm of Wii Sports and just put it in Major League Baseball. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. I like the vibe. What do you think?
It's definitely trippy. I think it's very trippy. Like when I see it, I'm like, wait, double take technology is really great right now, but also, whoa, double take.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's cool to see the creative energy coming out of these sports. Anyway. Okay, let's move on to the ballers, the NBA. We have more virtual fan updates from the NBA. They're using Microsoft Teams to bring virtual fans into the real world games. So they're installing these massive 17-foot tall screens onto each of the game courts to serve as like the digital stands where people literally,
it's beautiful.
like it's like you're on a Zoom call, like your face, like it's you, like your live reactions. I have some kind of, yeah, the technology removes the participants' individual backgrounds and places their heads in stadium seats. So they're all like next to each other on the screen. Isn't this crazy?
It's very realistic. It's very realistic.
I haven't watched, but you've seen it.
Yeah, I just watched my first game with my dad the other night, and oh my goodness gracious, it looked just so realistic to me. They had like the music going and everything, and like the fans cheering, the camera flashes as well, like announcers, etc. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I have a quote from the NBA's head of next gen telecast, which I didn't know was a position you could have in the NBA, but Sarah Zuckert is her name, and she said, quote, "Our goal is to create an enjoyable and immersive experience where fans can engage with each other and maintain a sense of community as we restart the season under these unique and challenging circumstances." So I think it's just one of these things, you do what you got to do, and it's forcing people to be creative. And then also, and I think Katie Lavin talks about this later in the episode too, it opens the door for a lot more fan participation and more access to the athletes themselves. You know what I mean? We're opening up all these other channels. You get more like close to the action. You're kind of experiencing it in a whole new way, which is kind of cool. Anyway, anything else to say? You had a good point down here, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that like apart from the technology and everything, I think just like the mindset for the players, it's kind of like going back to the beauty of the sport and kind of like why they play the game, along the lines of minimizing like the fans being there and kind of like the marketing aspect of everything. Like I've been watching the Bulls documentary on Netflix, and basically they've been saying like organizations win championships, not players. And I definitely think like professional sports have, it's a business, and these poor players are like, I just want to play the game that I love, and I'm losing love for it because of this business aspect. So perhaps this also will ignite some passion back into the players, since they don't have to essentially like please a crowd or something like that.
It's a good point. It's interesting to think about. And I think like it's hard to separate the two, right? Because the sports world that we know is forever linked to like fan experiences, but also the very corporate side of it. Like it is a business. It's so many people are employed for the sole purpose of making money. And so then when it comes down, like, first of all, the pressure on the athletes must be insane.
Right.
Then I think there's people that would say they get paid to do it. Like they're living the dream. Like that's the price you got to pay. So I don't know. It goes both ways, but I'm interested to see how this will kind of change how we view it. Do you know what I mean? Like, will we look back at this point as a turning point and like, and then sports changed in this way? I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Excellent analysis, Miss Foldy. We love it. Okay, let's move on to women's now. The WNBA recently dedicated their season to Breonna Taylor and the Say Her Name movement, which was so beautiful and moving to watch. I don't know if you saw the video, but I have a quote from, so I have a quote from Laisha Clarendon of the New York Liberty, who kind of introduced this dedication. She said, quote, "We are dedicating this season to Breonna Taylor, an outstanding EMT who was murdered over 130 days ago in her home. We are also dedicating this season to the Say Her Name campaign, a campaign committed to saying the names and fighting for justice for Black women who are so often forgotten in this fight for justice, who do not have people marching for them in the streets." And then everybody took a 26-second moment of silence because she was 26 when she died. And they were all wearing Breonna Taylor's name on the back of their jerseys. And I think the Say Her Name was at the bottom. And it was both teams. It was Liberty and their opponents, the Seattle Storm. So it was a cool moment of like, we are not opponents. Like, we are all just athletes who are using this ginormous platform that we have, especially because was so postponed. You know what I mean? You have more eyes on you when people were so ready for sports to come back on. So really taking advantage of this platform and making a very bold but important claim. What do you think?
No, definitely. I agree. And I think it's also an opportunity for also perhaps like male professional sport players to use their platforms to uplift women professional sports. Because, I mean, people treat them like gods, you know what I'm saying? So I think they have an opportunity to really uplift their like partners, and which I think is amazing. I definitely they should do, and they should have always done, etc. So
yeah, I think it's cool that, I don't know, I just think this also gave the WNBA a little bit more spotlight, which is good. I think anytime they're getting the recognition that they deserve is a win in my book, and like what a good way to use that win. I just think it was such a responsible way to kick off the season. And also, like, we're talking about the passion of the athletes. Like, you're going to play your heart out with a season dedicated to such a worthy cause, you know? So I don't know, we're really starting to see, and I think I think this has always been the case, but pop culture has such impact, honestly, you know, and I think it's easy to dismiss like, oh, it's a basketball game, but when we're talking about this context especially, it's so much more than that. So definitely a theme of the episode, definitely a theme of this sports season, so important to draw out there. Okay, moving on. We're just rapid firing this. I love this, Emma. National Women's Soccer League. So we got big news from them. A few weeks ago, the National Women's Soccer League announced an expansion to LA with a new club scheduled to play in spring of 2020, a team to be owned almost entirely by women, which we love to see. That's very exciting. The new club in LA features a who's who of high-profile celebrities and athletes, including Natalie Portman, Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Garner, Eva Longoria, and former U.S. women's soccer team player Mia Hamm. So we got a lot. What else? Oh yeah, Abby Wambach, Serena Williams. What a lineup. It's beautiful. It makes your soul shine, no?
oh, I mean, I have girl crushes on like the whole US women's soccer team, and I support them like 1,000%. Me and my friend Irene were just like, oh my gosh, we love every single human being on that team, and they deserve so much more because they win the championships. You know what I'm saying? The World Cups. They still should be getting equal pay, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, that's a whole other thing, but you're right. I mean, everything you said, it's so, yeah, definitely. It's like one of those hot button issues that shouldn't be a hot button issue. Like, why is this even an argument? It's mind boggling to me, but definitely a step in the right direction. It was cool to see all the Instagrams that came out of that, of like Jennifer Gardner post. We were like, what's going on? Does she play soccer? I was like, did she join the team? I was confused for a second, but I'm with it now. And I don't know, I just think it's such a cool, and also think about it, like different industries coming together. There's something really powerful about that. I love to see it. I really do. I feel like we're like, not, I didn't say much. I'm just like, everything Emma said is I'm agreeing, but it's true. It's just, we're on the same page here. I love it. We're about to talk about, like I said, and I've been kind of teasing this whole episode, a lot of girl power, a lot of female empowerment, which is always great. We got a great BAB segment coming at you soon. But first, we got to preface it with a little bit of lacrosse news. Emma, I'm so excited. Okay, so recently, and if you follow the blog, you know, she's cradling. If you follow the blog, you know, I got to sit in on a media press teleconference from the National Lacrosse League when they announced their 14th franchise. They are taking to Texas to play at Dickies Arena. Yeah, it's just like a big move. I think it's one of the first lacrosse teams in Texas. Big news, big excitement, and the owners of the team are big WNBA owners as well. They own or manage the Dallas Wings. So big Texas energy, big female empowerment energy. I actually got the chance to ask the commissioner of the NLL about the potential for a women's league because, hey, like, why not? And especially having these owners who work in women's sports. And I have a quote from him. Are you ready? Anyone who knows the National Lacrosse League and the way we roll around here knows that we are no stranger to inclusion and diversity. He said he recalled the rebranding of the NLL logo with the Morning Star in its respect to Native American symbolism, and he also made explicit reference to Jessica Berman, who we're about to hear from, as the first female deputy commissioner at a major professional sports league. So that's like big. I think there's such a, at least in my mind, there was a big misconception that professional sports, especially men's professional sports, is like a boys club in the front office. So it's cool to see that that's not necessarily the case. And then he said, as for the potential for a women's league, he said, if the opportunity presents itself at the right time, we will absolutely go for it. So who knows? In a year from now, we might be reporting on a women's lacrosse league, which would be really cool. Any other hot takes on lacrosse before we transition into the BAB of the week? BABs of the week?
I think just in like lacrosse and maybe other forms of sports like rowing, or example, that which like these types of sports are kind of in communities with money, etc. But now, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement that's happening, I think there's more talk about how are we going to diversify these sports, etc. So I think that's also an important conversation to have, and I hope that these professional sports teams are also talking to communities to introduce these sports to them.
Absolutely. And like I said, I hope that this moment inspires that. And I hope that we were kind of on that trajectory anyway, but also it's kind of like, how did it take this long? But also better late than never kind of situation. So definitely, if I have one major takeaway from the episode, it's that things are getting better and there's a lot of respect for the big stage that is professional sports and how much attention it gets, especially at a time now when people are craving something to rally behind, you know? So if that can be like a lighthearted sports match that also is dedicated to a really great cause, like in the case of the WNBA, who wouldn't be happy to support that? I think it's so, I don't know, it feels good. This is a feel-good episode. This is not a killjoy.
No.
Okay. So without further ado, these women, such badasses. I'm so excited to have them. Oh my God. So we're about to hear from Jessica Berman, who, like I said, is the Deputy Commissioner and Executive Vice President of Business Affairs with the National Lacrosse League, and also Katie Lavin, who is the Vice President of Marketing at the NLL. They were so gracious and just fun to talk to, and it was really great. One of the standout best parts for me was when we had them do the her reflection. So they all go through their happy, excited, and realization, and it was just so fun to like, I don't know, it's just fun. I loved it. They were such good sports about it. Sporty girl. And it was really cool to have new people on the show. I'm so excited. So I guess that's all we got for you for now. We're going to transition into that, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Sam. Bye.